Hey guys, if you've watched any of my videos, you know I like to end the videos on a positive note. I tell you, learn something new every day. Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how to learn something new every day. So stay tuned. So for starters, I just wanted to dispel something that maybe you've been told or you've told yourself, and that is that you're not smart, that you can't learn things. It's not true. Everybody has the power to learn things independent of how your brain works, which we're going to discuss in a minute, because brains can work differently. You absolutely have the power to learn anything that you want to learn. It all comes down to effort and understanding how you learn. So with that, I want to show you this website. All these links are going to be down below. This kind of there's a series of questions, and it tells you how you learn. I went through this process myself in school. I don't remember what grade it was, and I was a visual learner. I just reran it. It says I'm 45% visual, 40% auditory, and the rest kind of hands-on. Those are the three methods that really take place. I can't stress enough to you that you have to know yourself. You have to know your weaknesses and your strengths. When I was taking calculus, I had multiple calculus books. I had the book that was required for the class, and I went to a used bookstore and bought more. Why? Because I needed additional ways of seeing problems solved to figure it out. Just looking at one way of doing it is not good enough for me. I need to see multiples. And when you understand how you learn, you are going to unlock your potential. I know that sounds really silly, like I'm trying to sell you some kind of betterment course. I'm just telling you that you have the ability to learn. A lot of people grew up not being encouraged. And I can tell you, no matter where you are in your life, you can learn. And you can learn electronics, which is really what my channel's about, but you can learn anything. So I suggest you go here, kind of figure out what kind of learner you are. Now let's move on to some of the sources that I recommend for you to learn electronics. Once you know how you learn, then you can leverage different types of online resources to help you learn. As I noted, like for my calculus example, I read multiple sources when I'm trying to learn something. It helps me mesh it all together. Typically, one person cannot describe it in a way that allows me to completely grasp the concept. So multiple sources is fantastic. And we live in a time where that is easily accessible. Of course, with that easy accessibility comes disinformation as well. And what I mean are people making comments about the content you're interested in and also making mistakes. So that can happen, and I've seen it happen. So again, using multiple sources helps you to learn how that transistor works, how a MOSFET works, how electrons flow. So obviously, I'll share this link, but HackaDay, let me pull it over here. HackaDay is a wonderful daily resource to keep you interested in the concepts of electronics and technology. I can't say enough about HackaDay. It is a great quick daily read to scan to see if there's things that interest you. With this site alone, you could learn something new every day. However, I'm wanting you to learn something and then being able to build upon it. That's what education is about, so that you get to a point where you're building your own circuits. So HackaDay is definitely a fantastic source. But if you were to go, and let's just quickly do a search for learning electronics. Now you're going to find lots of sources, and a couple of these I found are actually really good. Let's see, just Spark. Yeah, SparkFun does show up. I think that's a great site. You know, they're trying to sell you things, but they also have really good tutorials on the parts and stuff. It's a great site. Certainly worth going to and looking at. And let's see, there's another one here that I like. This one. Nice site as well. You can look things up. They've got things broken out. You probably want to start, if you're just learning electronics, you definitely want to start off with passive components, which means, just basic DC circuits with capacitors and resistors, powering an LED kind of thing, just to kind of get some of those initial concepts. So these are fantastic resources for learning. Now, with the resources, you've got to question yourself. What are your weaknesses? Not how you learn, but what keeps you from learning. I personally have a problem with procrastination, especially after a long day of work. Sometimes the last thing I want to do is sit down and read anything. I want my brain to veg. And there are solutions for that. One way is to watch YouTube videos, because you can kind of veg and also get some feedback from that. So let me show you a couple channels. So one of the best channels, in my opinion, is the RSD Academy channel.
Power is produced when you have electromagnetic.
I find that his videos, let's go to his main page. I find that his videos are very well done. He is a fantastic teacher. He covers lots of different subjects, and he even kind of starts at the basics. So if you look through, he might have a playlist that says basic AC, DC, structure. So, you can, here's basic electronics, DC circuits. That would probably be a good one to start with. Really well done, smart guy, allows you to ask even questions. Can't recommend him enough. My channel is really about projects. It assumes a certain level of understanding. I try to explain things, but I actually turn to this channel because I think he's such a great teacher. Other channels, let's see. Oh, Udemy is a fantastic source for classes. This is a really good course. It's called the Crash Course Electronics and PCB. I think, it's on sale for $17. I'm not related, connected in any way, shape, or form to this, other than I took this class. I own it, and sometimes I go back and look at videos on it. So I'm continually trying to push myself. I forget things, and then I want to go back and look at them. I keep a notebook of things that I've watched so that I can go back and look at it. Another fantastic source. Plus, there's lots of other stuff available on Udemy as well if you have other interests. Let's take a look here. The Internet Archive. This is just a fantastic resource people don't seem to realize. This is an archive of audio, video, podcasts. I said audio, but you know what I'm saying. It's a giant resource of content, old magazines, everything. So if you were to come here and search on an Arduino, let's say you want to build something with an Arduino, you search and you will find, here's the book, Programming the Arduino. Yes, it's the book online. If you click on it, you can pull it up and you can start reading it. Now, some of the books you have to check out, and that's no big deal. It is DRM, I believe, somehow. But, if you wanted to, you could even download this one. The question is there a copyright issue? I'm not certain. I don't really want to get into that. It's up to you. At the very least, you get something out of it. Maybe you decide to go buy a copy used on eBay or Amazon or something. I don't know. But the point is that there are books, and some of them will say borrow on them. The Arduino Programming Notebook. Let's see what else. Sometimes this is a little slow. I don't know what these are. Thingiverse archives. Arduino using MATLAB. If you don't know what MATLAB is, it's mathematics software. So anyway, I mean, just tons of stuff. Let's just quickly choose another topic. Let's try transistors or transistor. Let's see what we find. Okay. Transistor manuals, prototyping, a magazine, transistor fundamentals, and some of these, there you go, books to borrow. So you click on it and it will come up and you have the ability to, and I do have an account, log in and borrow a book. And then you can read whatever you need to out of it. So I think what happened is probably some authors maybe complained and then got their book put into this borrow system. So probably the ones that we saw earlier, no one has complained yet or something. I don't know. But the point is this is a gigantic resource of tons of information, and you should definitely be leveraging this. There are books by Forrest Mims. These are books, I believe it's two M's. These are books that as a kid, let me see. Yes, I'm sorry, one M. These are books that as a kid you could get at when I was a kid, you could get at Radio Shack. And I mean, there's some great things in these books. They were done in this little engineer notebook fashion with a grid paper. And there's just such valuable information in some of these that you can get to quickly. You know, who wants to read through an entire chapter maybe on a 555 timer when what you really need, you know, is a cascade timer. Here he shows you, and then you kind of like can quickly get to what you're looking for. Anyway, fantastic source. Let's see what else I've marked a couple things here. Oh, World Radio. So I'm an amateur radio operator, which is another great way to surround yourself with people. So that was one of the other ways to learn things. When you're interested in a subject, you want to find people who are also interested in your subject. And you do that because you can talk to them and they can help answer questions. It just makes sense. And again, in this world, there are so many forums and vehicles for communication on the web that you should have no problem finding somebody who's interested in similar topics. Contextual Electronics, that's another great YouTube channel. And I know I'm bouncing around here, but I just remembered it. He actually has a forum. So let's see. So let's go to Contextual Electronics. All right, and yeah, there's just some wonderful content available on this site. I'll put this one up there as well. Let me actually go to the page, and I will make sure I add it to the list. He also has the Amp Hour podcast, good stuff. So anyway, let's go back to this world. Now, what this website is this gentleman person has saved a ton of these online magazines, kind of like the Internet Archive. And there are some of these that are just fantastic to go back and learn from. Popular Electronics was one of those in the day that just had great learning articles. So if we go to Technical and Engineering and go down here, let's see. He's got technical books available online. Consumer Electronics, Modern Era. Oops. I'm looking for Popular Electronics. But you could read any of these. Modern Electronics, Electronics Today. Let's go to Popular Electronics. So this magazine has been around since 1954, and it's gone through some changes. But you can almost pick like any one of these. I'm going to pick one at random. And you've got the PDF. And now looking through here, you know, they're going to have different build a beverage cooler. Okay. Why? I don't know, but pretty much in every project there's something that you can learn. So it's just an amazing collection of information. I think that was on page 60. Let me just go to 60 and see. Receiver preamps that you can build. Cool. Build a whistle switch. The point is is that the more information that you put into your brain, even if you don't understand it at the moment, you will start to form connections between that information. You might not know what a bridge rectifier is, or that it's called a BR on schematics, or that a C is a capacitor, R is a resistor. But you will, because you're going to combine this information with the other information on the basics of electronics, and you're going to start to build this mental picture, and it's going to take some time. It will not happen overnight. It's going to take a commitment, just like if you want to learn how to draw, or you want to learn photography, computer repair, car repair, whatever it might be. You need to just make that commitment. And if you try to learn something new every day, at the very least, you're going to build your own brain archive of all of this data and start to be able to put it together. So learn basically how you learn. Find resources that amplify that method of learning by either reading, watching videos. Whenever you have a question, try to find the answer at that moment to your question. The longer you let that question linger, the harder it is to make that brain connection between the answer and the question. You want to know it right away so you can continue reading or watching what you just saw, what you were doing. I'm looking through this list real quick here. I think I've shared all of these with you. Internet Archive is a fantastic resource. I go and look at these PDFs every once in a while to get ideas. I try to read the description of the circuit so that I can start to make those kind of connections in my own brain, so that I can quickly look at certain types of circuits and know what they're doing. Anyway, with that, learn something new every day. Remember, no matter what you've been told, you have the power to learn anything that you want to learn. The human brain is an amazing device. You can overcome anything, and you can do what you want. All right. With that, take it easy, guys.